The addition of special support shelters worth 10 million ringgit for women has been applauded by women's rights groups in light of the COVID-19 pandemic exacerbating pre-existing issues, particularly gender-based violence and human trafficking. Social enterprise NGO Engender Consultancy founder Sreeni-Ong said she hopes the shelters will be able to provide safe accommodation which is victim-centered and guided by trauma-informed and gender-responsive approaches in all areas of operations. We hope this allocation covers shelters for trafficked victims, particularly in states like Sarawak, which don't have shelters for these victims. The shelters should be improved versions of the current ones. Therefore, they need to be modeled according to guidelines and standards which take into account learning from the evaluation of current shelters in the country, she told FMT. According to Ong, monitoring and evaluating to measure impact is critical at all levels to ensure the allocation is effectively used. She also said, though it was good that the government recognized period poverty as a key issue of concern, the 130,000 hygiene kits should contain awareness material as well. Women's Aid Organization Advocacy Officer Kiran Kaur said while the organization hopes to see the shelters benefit women and child survivors of violence to the fullest extent, more can still be done. A sufficient allocation towards shelters and safe spaces for women is essential to ensure that Malaysia has adequate shelter space for survivors of violence, and that these shelters are able to run with COVID safety measures in place, she said. Kiran added that one family in a women's shelter per 10,000 population was a minimum standard, compared with the current one family per 72,538 people, which is the situation with shelters in the country. Malaysia needs to increase its number of shelters by approximately 7.3 times, to a total of 314 shelters. According to data from 2019, we only have 43 shelters currently, Kiran said.